Hi, this is Deborah from Dinglefoot.com, and this week I'm going to show you how to make a really neat leather texture. This is a great focal point for cards or even a background for your journaling and your scrapbooks. This is just a really neat thing to make for that. And what I'm going to need is a piece of plain black cardstock. This happens to be textured. You can use whatever kind you have. If you just have a flat cardstock, just rip out a piece the size that you want. And we're going to need that. And if you're going to make a card with me, you'll need a card base. This one is cream. I have a red swirly I cut from my Cricut. And I have a little flower. I put together a couple Prima flowers with a little gold brad there. You can see it's a little glitter brad. I have some fired brick distress ink. And I have my little spritzer full of water. And I have 3 colors of glimmer mist back here. And then for my sentiment, I'm just going to use stickers. You can use the stamp or whatever you have. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to make this leather panel. Alright, we're going to take our little water spritzer, and if you don't have one of these, this does not need to be gently misted, this paper. We need it really, really wet, so you can even take it to your sink and run water over it. Make sure it's really, really nice and wet. I'm going to do both sides since I don't have the sink here. I'm just going to wet this down really good. Now, we're going to take this paper and we're just going to be really mean to it. You got to ball it all up, straighten it out, just keep balling it all up. It needs to get really wrinkly so I have that nice leather texture. So I'm just going to do that. I need to break down the fibers really well. We don't want to rip the paper too much. With some ripped edges, it's not going to look bad at all, but if you have a thinner paper, just be careful that you don't tear it all apart. You can see already this looks nice and wrinkled up. Just going to do a little more. That water really helps to so you can tear down the texture of the paper, tear down the fiber of the paper. Okay, and once it's wrinkled kind of the way you want it, if it's not wrinkling the way you want it, just get it even wetter, but this looks pretty good to me. Now all I'm going to do is just take different colors of glimmer mist. I'm just going to spray it all over. Just wet it down really good. The color, of course, isn't going to show up too much because our paper's black, but it is going to show the different glitters that are in our glimmer mist. Okay, and all we have to do now is wait for this to dry, or what I do sometimes is use my heat tool, or I've even taken it to my microwave. Just throw it in there for 30 seconds or so, and it's going to dry. Just keep your eye on it because you don't want it to catch on fire or anything, but it takes about 30 seconds probably to get it all dried out so that it looks like my piece that I showed you earlier. So now that we are ready, we're going to go ahead and put our card together. Okay, I'm going to grab my fired brick ink pad. What I'm going to do is just take this and just make a nice little color along the edges of my card, just to kind of define the edges just a little bit. Okay, that's all we do with our ink pad. Now this piece is going to get glued right on the front. I kind of prefer to use a wet glue for it because of the texture on it. We want it to stick down nicely. Put a little bit of glue on there and put it right on the front of your card. Next, I'm going to put some adhesive on my little red swirl. These are kind of tricky because they're so flimsy. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on it there, here and there. So I'm just using an adhesive runner just to get some adhesive on these bigger parts. Just going to lay this right across my piece of textured paper here. Stick it down. Then we're going to grab our little flower here. You can use an adhesive such as a wet glue, or you could use a Zot, whatever works for you. So I'm just going to put that right on the base of my swirly. And all I need to do is add my little greeting. I'll just put a little thank you on here. And that's about it for this card. Really simple, but the texture makes it look really neat. Alrighty, that is it, and we are finished. Thanks so much for watching.